guys, and welcome back to my channel. This is Allegro. Thank you so much for coming back to watch yet another video. And if you are new here, please do take a moment to subscribe to the channel and join our growing YouTube family. I am back with another book review. I think this is the third out of the 4 books that I will be reviewing this month. I've already reviewed 2 books, one being that of May Mask. That was the first book that I reviewed for this Women's Month, and that is what's the name of the book now? A Woman Makes a Plan. And then I recently shared my second book review being We Should All Be Feminists by Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie. I hope you guys have checked that video out. If not, just scroll through my videos, you will find it. And today I have a South African author and media personality that I want to share this book. It's a joint effort from 2 amazing women, and I was definitely not going to leave this off my list. Now, today's book is Meeting Your Power, Returning Home to Yourself. This is by DJ Zinhle. We all know and love DJ Zinhle in South Africa and across Africa. And also Nokubonga Mbanga. And this is such an awesome self-help, motivating, encouraging book, not just for women, but I feel like for anyone. You know, if you are at a point where you are perhaps struggling with identity issues, you are struggling with self-esteem issues, you are just, you know, maybe going through a transition from your old self, stepping into your new self, and you're really just finding it a bit difficult to tap into you and tap into your purpose and figuring out life, and just really feeling like, okay, I'm comfortable with who I am, where I am, and I know who I am, you know, and I love who I am. This is definitely a book for you. I recommend that you get this book. This book retails for 175 Rand on Take-A-Lot, and roughly 180, so it's just under 200 basically, but your cheapest option would be on Take-A-Lot. I saw it's going for 175 Rand, and I did buy this off Take-A-Lot a while back. I've had this for quite some time. I usually buy books in bulk, so it was part of one of my bulk purchases, and I love it. I love that also, if you see here, the book has, I love books where, you know, especially self-help books where you can write notes, where, here you go. So you've got spaces after each chapter where you can write a couple of notes. It's got bullet point, sort of like questions, little notes as you go along, because sometimes as you're reading an entire paragraph after paragraph, it kind of summarizes the paragraph and the most important things to take out of that chapter that you're currently reading. So I will just go through some of my favorite, actually the whole book is my favorite, but I just want to highlight some of my favorite chapters here. It talks about in chapter 5, Faces of Inspiration, we are not alone. It also speaks about, I mean, just to touch on that, I've had, before I even started my business, before I really knew when I was going to step into my entrepreneurial journey, I had mentors and people that inspired me from afar without even knowing that I exist. You know, sometimes a mentor isn't someone that you are able to be in, you know, personal contact with and call them up or meet up with them. I would read books. I would read people that inspired me. I would pick up their books. Whenever I saw that they were going to be on radio and TV being interviewed, I would make sure that I listen in, just basically soaking up all sorts of knowledge that I could get from them. If they were hosting an event where I was in close proximity, I was able to go, I would make sure that I make my way there, you know. So it's important they speak about that here. Zinhle just refers to her brother Zakhele, who she says has always been her hero and someone who she never wanted to disappoint as she was journeying along in her space. We all know her as an award-winning, amazing female DJ, an amazing businesswoman, a mother, and now a wife, and she's really just breaking barriers, you know, and proven herself in such a male-dominated industry. You know, back in the day when we used to think about DJs, it was such a male-dominated industry. And yes, of course, now more and more women are coming out, but she was one of the pioneers, especially in Africa. I think that, you know, we knew back in the day that, oh, DJ Zinhle introduced to us through your mosquitoes and, you know, guys like that. So for me, one woman that just definitely showed us that it is possible, to break into an industry where you were not expected to be the face of the industry. You're not expected to make it, but here you are today. And after so many years, her consistency, longevity, she is still here. So amazing woman. I could go on and on about her. And another chapter that I want to just highlight here, just going through it, not this one. Managing criticism. And this is something that Zinhle speaks about in the book. I think she's the best person to speak about the topic of criticism, because she's one of the most criticized people in South Africa, I believe, amongst the celebrities. That is, especially quite recently, I would say the past maybe 2-3 years, from her personal life being out in the media, from relationships to breakups and so on, and now her marriage. And people always have something to say, something to criticize, no matter how good you are. When you are in the public eye, someone will always try and find something faulty, something to break you, something to try and deter you, to get to you, because they don't even know you like that, but they just want to make sure that they somehow break you and you think about them and they criticize. It's not even constructive criticism, I get that, but it's just anything you put out. Oh, we don't like that. Oh, she should have done this. Oh, she should have worn, like, why is her hairstyle like that? Why on earth would she do that? Why? But it's never just, you know what I mean. I could go on and on and on. So she speaks about the criticism, and she says here, we all need a little guidance sometimes. We share ideas and we rely on people we love to tell us when we have lost our way. Communicating is part of our daily lives. There are people we trust more than others. We believe everything they say to us and about us. They are usually our close friends and family members. And this is now her speaking a bit about the constructive criticism, as well as getting into the types of other criticism that I just mentioned. So that's going to help you as you build your your self-esteem. Like, how do I navigate situations where I'm constantly being criticized, be it at my work, in a relationship, I'm with someone that always sees the worst in me, always try to find fault. No matter how good I am, I could cook the perfect meal and they would still turn around and say, but hang on, you should have put a little more paprika in the soup, or you should have put a little bit more herbs in this, whatever you were making. It's never, you just feel like you're never good enough. How do you navigate that kind of situation and without losing yourself? Because also this book is a self-help book for you, not to please other people, but it's meeting your power. If you know that in that kind of situation where someone is just constantly criticizing you and putting you down, you would snap, you would retaliate, you would criticize them back, you would shout at them, it would escalate to a certain level. If you know that that's how you would respond, perhaps this will then teach you how you process your emotions, how you take in criticism. Even if you know that that person is just trying to be a bully, trying to just break you down, step away from it in a manner that is respectful, not just to them, but to you, and you protect your peace as you walk away from an encounter that could have turned to be the worst. So that is definitely something that I think we can all work on. There's also managing your inner critic. Yeah, we all have that voice. No matter how good you are, sometimes you're like, oh, but am I sure I can do this? Can I do this? You're always doubting yourself, even though you know that I will deliver, over deliver even, but there's always sometimes that self-doubt, that little critic that creeps in and tries to tell you that perhaps you're not good enough. Your friend or your colleague, they could do a better job than you, and then you start that whole comparison thing where you're stealing away your own joy, because now you're always comparing yourself to other people, thinking that you are not good enough. So that is also tackled in this book. You know what, so many chapters I could go into. She speaks again about adversity, projecting on yourself, other people, having their own issues and they project on you, and so on. And then my favorite in chapter 10, gratitude. I'm all about grace and gratitude. I'm in a space in my life of new beginnings. I'm just grateful. I'm always grateful, you know, and not that things are always going my way. No, life keeps lifing, life keeps happening, you know, but I choose to make that conscious decision every day to, even if it's one thing, point out one thing that I'm grateful for that happened in that day. Like this morning, I can tell you, I was on my way to an interview in Santon, and I was almost in a little minor car accident because the person in front of me, I don't know what was happening further down, but the person in front of me just kind of abruptly stopped, and it took a split second, and I mean a split second, and I'm driving behind them. I could have just hit them within a second, and I was just so grateful that I was paying attention. I was attentive on the road. I wasn't trying to look in the car, whatever, do something else, you know, because in that little split second, I could have bumped into the person in front of me, even though they just stopped abruptly, you know, but you know, so just those kind of things. And I tend to find that those kind of things also happen when you're in a hurry. There's traffic, there's load shedding, traffic lights aren't working, this and that, but I was able to just kind of like, you know, breathe. Okay, great, we're still fine. Didn't happen. Now let's continue to be vigilant and aware on the road, because as we know, we don't drive just for ourselves, we drive for other people too. So that's one of the things that I'm grateful for that happened today. So it's minor things. It's not I mean, that's not a small thing, but I just mean like, it's not a huge thing. You know, sometimes when people express gratitude, it's like, oh my goodness, I got a new car, I got this new house, or you know, I just gave birth, or I'm pregnant, or I just got married. But we forget the little moments in between as life happens in our daily routines that we just ought to be grateful for, you know. Just simple things like that. You know, for me, it could have resulted in something else, but I'm just grateful that it didn't. And then you find other little things inside your daily routines to always be grateful for. So I am extremely happy with this book. I love it. It will teach you so much. I don't recommend books that I know are not going to serve any purpose in your life, that aren't going to leave you a better version of yourself, that aren't going to leave you hoping to do better and grow and learn as we just journey through this journey of life. So yes, returning home to yourself. Return to yourself. If there's anything you can do for yourself this month, anything good, man or woman, please get this book, especially for my ladies. Get this book. It is going to change your life. It's under 200 Rand. Instead of you going to get some pizza, some takeaway, some alcohol, whatever it is, that bottle of wine, get the book. You'll enjoy it. I promise you. Thank you so much for watching the video, and I will chat to you in the next one. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Bye.